42 degrees. The man is standing below the transmission tower. So below means literally it also can mean, and physically also something can be below. Over and examples of over. Example, have you ever cooked over a campfire? Over means straight above something. So the mother leaned over the child to kiss her. A rainbow appeared over the horizon when the sun came out. Examples of under. The green hills look stunning under a clear blue sky. This bridge is under construction. He is a scuba diver. He goes under the sea to look for interesting things. If we look at the picture, this person is a scuba diver. He goes under the sea to look for interesting things. So the position of his is under the water or under the sea. Exercise: beside, above, below, under and over. So we are supposed to use these 5 given prepositions in the following blanks. First, she leaned over the table for the books. The kid is hiding under the table. I can jump over the wall. Fan is hanging over my head. She put the book under her pillow. Or there was a table beside the bed. So these are the 5 sentences where we can use the understanding of this preposition and fill the blanks accordingly. Now again, the exceptional thing is the figurative usage of the prepositions above, below, under and over. So literal meaning that we have seen, that how above, below, under and over can be used literally in certain kind of sentences, whereas figurative use of these prepositions are also being done. So for instance, these 4 prepositions can also be used figuratively. For instance, he was above me at school. That means he was above me. That doesn't mean that he was above him. Literally or physically was not above him, but then he was above me. That means he was a senior to me in the school. A dozen of persons are working under him. Under him, that does not mean something is physically under him, but that means a dozen of persons are working under him. That means under it says junior or an inferior kind of a position. We had a long chat over a coffee. So coffee, that doesn't mean that over a coffee does not mean that we had a chat over a coffee, but then over a coffee, that means while having a cup of coffee we had a long chat. So this is called the figurative usage of all these 4 prepositions. Prepositions of directions: up, from, to, towards, into and against. These are the prepositions of directions. Where prepositions are used to indicate directions, they can be divided into 2. For instance, first direction towards something and the direction from something. Prepositions of direction, where up shows the upward movement and down shows the downward movement or motion. So this arrow says sufficiently everything, that something moves up, that is called up, and something moves downwards or downward direction, that is called down. For instance, he went up the stairs. That means he went up towards the next floor. The girl is coming down from her room. Maybe she is living on the first floor and she is coming down to the ground floor. From, to and towards. Going towards a planet. So we can see that there is an alien and it is going towards a planet. Towards means to go in that direction, that particular direction. Second thing is from and to are used to show the exact destination or place, while towards is used to show the direction. From, next preposition is from and to, are used to show the exact destination or place, while towards is used to show the direction. From says I am coming from home. That means that from home is the exact direction or place, while towards I am going towards my home. That means it shows the direction. Towards home, that does not mean he is going to his home. Into indicates the direction from outside to inside. Into indicates the direction out from outside to inside. For instance, the miners walked into the tunnel. Into can also be used figuratively, just like above, below, under and over. So they were used figuratively. Just like that, into can also be used figuratively. For instance, we ran into troubles. So it is not literally that we ran into troubles, but we created troubles for us. That means the sentence. The flight is from London to New York. So from London to New York. So from is the starting point, New York is the end point, whereas where we can use the preposition from and to. Why is he coming towards me? So towards is the direction. So why is he coming in my direction? It means that towards means direction, towards me. He walks to school every day. So he walks to school, that means it's the exact destination. School is the proper or exact destination where he daily goes. Exercise from, to, towards, into and up. Filling the blanks with the above given prepositions which are from, to, towards, into and up. The maid servant led the guest towards the hall. The road runs from Agra to Mumbai. First sentence. The maid servant led the guest towards the hall. There is a hall and they led this guest towards the hall, not to the hall. So road, next sentence, the road runs from Agra to Mumbai. So Agra is the starting point, whereas to is the end point, and this is the exact position, place, Agra and Mumbai. Stella is moving towards the danger zone. Maybe she has participated in a game and Stella is there moving towards the danger zone. My friend is climbing. My friend is climbing up the mountain. So my friend is climbing up the mountain, that means mountain is something steep and he is climbing up there. Vijay was ready to go into the tunnel. So tunnel is something quite deep and he is ready to go into the tunnel. Prepositions of movement: in, out of, on, off, inside, outside. These are the prepositions of movement. Something moves in, something moves outside, something is on, something moves off to it. So these are certain prepositions. So prepositions of movement. Let's see. In or out of. Out of is used when someone goes out of something or somewhere. Example, he wants to get out of the swing. There is a thing where he wants to get out of the swing. Next is on and off. On and off has the meaning of away from. For instance, on and off, where in the first sentence the tire is off the truck. So you can see there is a tire and it is without the truck and it is away from the truck. So the tire is off the truck. He is taking off his hat. So there is a person, he has taken off his jacket and now he is taking off his hat. So take off, that means he is being away, or the hat is being taken away from him. Off is used in the sense of from also. For instance, die off, made of, ask of, expect of. If we form certain sentences from these clauses, then he is sick of his computer. He is sick of his computer. So sick of. He died of cancer. That means he died from cancer. The cupboard is made of wood. So that means the cupboard is made from wood. So die of, made of, ask of, expect of. In all these examples, of means from. Of is used in the sense of from. Inside or outside. Inside is the opposite of outside. As we all know, example, someone is drinking juice inside the cafe. students go inside the classroom. So both these things are opposite to each other. Someone is drinking juice inside the cafe. Students go inside the classroom. So for instance, we have seen two examples. Now examples of outside. The man was inside the cave. Now he is standing outside the cave. So inside is something which is in. And second example, there is a post box outside the office. So something is out there. If we do the exercise of these three prepositions of, outside, these are the three prepositions where we are supposed to fill the blanks with. Keep off the exhibits. Do not touch them. Human body is made of flesh and blood. A cat jumped off the bookshelf. He has to come outside the grief. Ritu saw me when I was standing outside my class. So these are the three prepositions in the first sentence. Keep off the exhibits, do not touch them. Keep off matlab that means away from, or keep it away. Keep away the exhibits, do not touch them. Human body is made of flesh and blood. A cat jumped off the bookshelf. So if there is a bookshelf, cat was there and it jumped off the bookshelf. It jumped out of the bookshelf. He has to come outside the grief. Come off the grief. So he has to come off the grief. Ritu saw me when I was standing outside my class. So class is there and I was not inside my class, I was outside my class. Next thing is means of transport. According to the table, means of transport. For means of transport we can use prepositions. These are the three prepositions which we can use as the means of transport: by, on and in. For instance, by car, by bus, by train, by plane, by air, by bicycle, by road, by sea, etc. On, this is the second preposition which can be used for the means of transport. On foot, on horseback, on his bike, in my car. Where third one, in, is used, for instance, in my car. So in shows the exact position where we are using it for the means of transport. Exercise of by, on and in. We travelled by air. We travelled in Priyanka's car. They came to our house in a taxi. He prefers riding on a horse. He goes to school on foot. So we travelled. So means of travel, we travelled by air. We travelled in Priyanka's car. Both the sentence talking about travelling. But then by air, that means through air. And we travelled in Priyanka's car, that means it shows exact position. It was Priyanka's car. They came to our house in a taxi. Again, taxi is the exact position or exact thing. He prefers riding on a horse. So he prefers riding on horse. He goes to school on foot. Other prepositions of direction. Across. Across has the meaning of from one side to the other side of. So across has the meaning of from one side to the other side of. For instance, the road runs across the desert. The wind blows across the reservoir. The road runs across the desert. That means the road runs across the desert. Across, that means something from one side to the other side of. The wind blows across the reservoir. That means reservoir is there and the wind is blowing from one side to the other side of the reservoir. Next preposition is through. Through has the meaning of from one end to the other end of a space or period. Through has a meaning of from one end to the other end of a space or period. So over. Through has a meaning of from one end to the other end of a space and period. For instance, the water is made to pass through a filter house. Thus, through has a meaning of from one end to the other end. The filter house has two ends. Water is made to pass from one end to the other end. They studied through the night. That means they studied through the night from the beginning until the morning. Along is used to show the movement following the path, road or line. For instance, the army marched along the road. Oil flows along the pipeline, which shows following the path, road or line. We can understand it through the examples. Other prepositions like about. About is used in the sense of off. It is also used in the sense of near, all and all sides. For instance, he spoke about him for an hour. My uncle lives somewhere about this place. So about is near or all side.